Good morning, happy Tuesday. I hope you're all doing great today. We are continuing working on the physics-based random chooser. And I believe, we were working on getting the CSV part set up. So in our main file, we are looking at arguments coming in, so we can see, okay, config, choices, the file type that we care about. I don't think we're doing anything with that really right now. If we head into the main library, is it the main library? No, it's load config. So load config is probably the next place we're going to work on for this. So we take in the path, but we're also going to want to take in these other options. Because we need to load up based upon this path, and that's fine. Well, the config file is based on the path. That seems to be fine. So we're setting that. But the choices, where do the choices get loaded? So I actually think this is fine. Then choices get loaded here. Okay, so if it's JSON, then load choices from JSON. Otherwise, load choices from CSV. Come here. Load choices from CSV is obviously just returning nothing at all, which I think we have set up. So if we do file type CSV, I believe we get no choices. And if I do file type JSON, yeah, so no choices. Do file type JSON, then we have these choices come in. Okay, so that makes sense. So we need to write this function now. Okay, let's take a look at our error here, our example here. So we can do CSV reader from reader. I was standard in. I wonder if that's a read that we can get, like a file, essentially. And then we can create them here, okay? Oh, an example with Serde. Okay, so we could have our struct, which is our choice. So we still create the reader. Then we deserialize that. Okay, and then this result is going to be the actual thing. Okay. All right, let's give it a shot. So a CSV choice, if we remember correctly, has the colors. We actually have a list down here. We have the name, we have then red, green, and blue. And then that's gonna eventually create our name and color that we have. Where's traces? Traces here. Right, so we have choice and then color. That's unfortunately not gonna be super helpful. I wonder if I want to change this. But if I do, Well, if I do, we need to change the JSON, don't we? So instead of color, this becomes something like red, F32. Actually, this would be a U8. And then if we come back to our choices.json, instead of colors like this, we'd have red. And we want like defaults, don't we? Oh, that's what this is. Okay, so with that, default that, so we can set the default for each of these. So we can do Serde, instead of this with, we'll just do default, Serde default color. Can I just replace this with default is 255? So it doesn't like this. Expected Serde default attribute to be a string. Oh, okay. So you don't want turn into that. That's too bad. Yeah, so I think it's yelling at me about this continually. I need to figure out how to do a default for a non-string type. Or I suppose we can create our own function. Oh, unless there's like a different thing. It's not default. Let's go take a look at Serde. This calls, okay, so we could have, there's an enum down here. Default resource. Oh, okay. So we could just have a function that we call in here. It could be private. It can just sit in here. So we can have function like default color. It can return a U8. And we're going to turn 255. So in this case, Serde default equals default color. And now it's happy. Okay, so that way in choices JSON, we can have red with it, which is like a 255, green, which is 0, Oh, because I could just say, you know what? I want you to be full red, and I don't care about the other colors. You're just red. I guess that would only make sense if I did like maybe default is black in this case. So if we do that, and then I run this again, oh wait, but we got an error. Insert color. So now creating this color from choice. So then I want to maybe have like an impl on choice. Function, maybe like to color. Ooh, get color. Maybe just color. Okay, so return that. That should be fine. Right, and then the alpha. We might as well just take in an alpha here. So pub. Alpha. Which is a U8. I'm gonna have a different one for the alpha. So we want full, like, no transparency. Oh, right, and these aren't new. This is from RGBA, which is then U8s. Okay, so if I do that, then we have this color. So choice, that color like that, gives us the color. Okay, and so now if I run this again with file type JSON, we should have our choice is just red. And the other one is black? Missing field green at line 5, column 5. Oh, because if I have none of these other ones, we need to also duplicate these. There we go. We have red and black. And everything else should work exactly as expected. Okay. What else would we care about here? I think we're back on to load the choices from CSV. So now that we have now that we've matched the JSON to the CSV, so it's exactly the same, I think it'll be a lot easier. So we already debug and deserialize. So what we want to do is create this reader from CSV. So we need CSV. We're going to create a reader, so CSV reader from reader, and then I'm hoping I can just hand it the file. So we're going to need to do the same thing to get this file open. and then we'll hand it the file from this, so that reader equals CSV from reader. Reader. Oh, I could just do a from path. Oh, can I? Okay, so can I just skip this? We grab the reader, question mark U. So we've got this reader here. And then for result in reader.deserialize. Then let record, okay, so let choice, which is a type choice, equals result, question mark U. Then we're going to need our vector of these. I suppose we can also collect them, but let's get it working first with sort of like the old way. And we're going to return the choices. You need to be mutable. I mean, it's not yelling at me. So we can try CSV now. Didn't like that. Missing field name. Missing field name. In our choices. Oh, I think we call this games.csv. Oh, name with a capital N. Name like that. No, okay, so still missing field name. It didn't like that either. For choices, okay, so we definitely have a name here. I guess I'm also curious, like, what's the, Oh, I think, you know what we have to give it? We have to give it the path. What did we call that? Dash dash choices. Choices is going to be games.csv. There we go, and it works. And we see we have these three choices, and so green, blue, and red. And if we look back in here, we have red, green, and blue. Okay, so that's perfect. We can even just set some of these to like other ones completely, like 100, 12, 95. And now one of the colors will be a different color. There we go. Okay, so we're reading from CSV now, which is nice because we'll be able to like just pull this in wherever we want. We should definitely create a help for this too. I don't know how to do the auto tab responses for for Windows. I used to know how to do it on Linux a long time ago, and then I just, out of practice, forgot. It's like a file you put somewhere on Linux. I don't know if it's the same on Windows. Let's see. Then we're going to, I guess we need to know what one. So we have that name. So we need to register the name. And I think that happened in, let's actually, you know what? Let's do some work in progress git commits here. I will, I'll be amending those commits later, but this way, yeah. This way, I could always go back if I screw things up. Okay, so this Serde default color isn't being used anymore, meaning I can delete that. I'm kind of surprised it doesn't hate me for that. Huh, I guess I'm not pulling that in here at all. Oh, I must have gone straight to it inside of the default. So that's perfect. Okay, what's next? I want to, when we register in the main library and we create the choice balls, we want to insert, okay, we insert the name. And when we win, we're debugging the name. So we're saying, okay, a name came out, something won, this is the name, and there we go. So if we run this, helpers mod, oh, helpers mod. Yep. We have these choices. Let's go ahead and let it run. Everything should work exactly as we expect. Probably could put in less nails. That might help. Purple is our assumed winner at this point in time, although it's moving in the wrong direction. However, the other ones are also moving in the wrong direction, so I guess it's still winning. Oh, and red's just given up. Yeah, I think I'm gonna want to remove a bunch of these nails. Make it so it finishes a little bit faster. Not too much faster. There we go. Okay, so we see Celeste did win here in this race. So what I want to do is pause. Let's actually update the number of nails in here. Rows, nails in row. Let's have like half of them and half the rows. So I'm thinking if we for the choices, if we halt the physics as soon as it finishes, like winner comes up, we don't care about this anymore. I guess in that case it can be a flag that gets set. Where are we going? Here. So let's imagine that we have a flag that gets set here. So we just winner is, we can just set this to be like a none or a sum, and then okay, so you can be an option. And I want this to be like maybe a text that gets set. And so we're gonna draw that out on the screen. So here, winner is gonna be none. And then down here, when we know that something has one, we need to run a function to create the text. But also the other thing is we don't want to run physics. So this entire self.physics to update. You know what else I realized we need to do? We need to limit ourselves by 60 frames per second. So file timer. Then all of this can happen inside of here. And mostly we need to do that because physics itself is assuming that our update loop is once every over 60. So this should make it run a little bit better. Then this update only happens. We still want the event manager to update, just physics. So if let none equal to, I guess is equal to self dot winner, because I don't really care what that is, then we're continuing to run the physics. If as soon as we choose somebody, however, we need to set it to something. So then the last thing is to actually create this winner text. Maybe like set winner. I believe we're going to need the context in here too. Mostly because we need to create some font stuff. So like the actual text, we need the name as well. You are a string. All right, so let our text, so winner is equal to text new. And then I believe you take a fragment. So we'll probably use a format. So we can say 1. Okay, so that gives us the winner. Let's also make you mutable so that I can change the font on this. So we need a font. We're going to use the default font, and then we need a scale. Scale uniform, and we want to blow this up by like, I don't know, 72. Then we can do winner. We're gonna set the font, give it that font, give it our scale. That I think just updates the font here. Yeah, mute self. Okay, so it's going to update itself and then just return the new text in case I want to do any kind of chaining on it. And I don't think I need to. Then we're going to set self dot winner or some winner. And then down and update. Instead of this debug name, we're gonna say self dot set winner, give it the context, give it the name. Same thing here. Now here, draw data, get name. Just do self dot set winner, context, and then give it the name. What are you upset about? Oh, because you're a reference to a string. So can I just dereference you? No, okay. It's not really a problem. If it is a reference to a string, we can handle that in here. So instead of a string, just make you a stir. Maybe? Cannot borrow self as mutable because it's also borrowed as immutable right here. Ooh. Do I need to grab this out at a different time? Or do I want to do something else with this? If I have this sort of like set winner here separately, like if I have this as like a helper function, I can call it without self and then return the text. So I can say something like that that winner equals, we do this, and then you're gonna be, okay, so maybe we can create a winner text. Then we're gonna come back to the main library, pull in you, into here. This will be winner text. And then instead of calling this directly, we'll just go into helpers. So helpers, create winner's text. You need to be public. And we're going to return you. You're still set up. Takes 3 arguments, but 2 arguments were supplied. Mute delete self. Oh, we don't need to do that anymore. There we go. Okay, so now we're happy again. So now we have this winner. Now we can say self dot winner equals some winner. So that's because we don't want to like set self in here. We want to actually just return winner. You are a text. Chantilly, hello. How are you doing today? Oh, we don't need the context at all. For some reason, I thought we needed the context to get the size. To set like the bounds. Ooh, okay. We might need it eventually. But let's try this. Okay, so if we set the winner like this, if we run this, as soon as we're finished, yeah, this might be too few of them now, but it'll be a lot faster to get through. Of course, it missed the winning hole. You know what I could do? I can, in the main library, we could just not draw. Let's see. Don't draw the nails. Don't draw the collectors. First one down wins. There we go. The first one down wins. So that successfully stops the simulation, which is great. Then what I want to do is display that text to the screen. So in our draw, I guess it's gonna have to be in this the create winning text. No, we can just draw it here. This should be fine. These are the draw for all of these. So here's this mesh builder. I want to on top of all of this. So down here, we want to then say mesh. We need to get the text out, don't we? So if let some text, I guess this is the winner. Self dot winner. Okay, so if we have this text, I just want to draw it. So mesh builder. Oh, you know what? I don't even think this matters because I don't think we can apply text. We can do texture, but I don't think we can have text on that. So I don't think this matters at all. This can essentially be done below the draw. So then we're going to do another graphics. So 2 draws. Draw, context, a reference. We We can actually just get a reference here. So you're the winner, and then draw params. And then we can set what the destination is going to be. In order to draw this properly, we need to know like the width and height of it to make it in the center of the screen. And then we can also set the color of that. If we want to set the color, we should probably also have like the winner text color. Oh. We'll probably want to set, oh, okay. That would be perfect. I don't have to do that. We'll set the color to be what the color is of the choice. That'll be next. Excuse me. Okay, so winner text. We have to get the size. So I think what we can do is how does it work? Dimensions. Then we pass the context, and then we get, so this is the winner width, winner height equals to that. Those are U32s, which is interesting. We'll then have to turn these into F32s. So then we can, okay, so drop param, we're gonna give it a new destination. For the X, we want to bring it over by, I guess we need the drawable size too. So let height. So this is gonna be our width, divided by 2, minus half of the winner width. And then the height is going to be the same thing. So it's going to be our height by 2 minus winner height divided by 2. And then you need to be an as F32. Okay. I think that this will work. We have another error here. Config JSON. Oh yeah, no trailing comma. So let's go ahead and try this. So last one, as it should. All right, so that was the first one that reached the bottom. Now, I suppose maybe something to make it look a little bit better, instead of us just stopping all the simulation, what if we allow the rest to continue, but we just don't care about them necessarily? So that might be, in update, I'm actually not going to do this check anymore. We're going to allow the physics to continue. But here, we have to check to see if there's an intersection event. We want to check to see if there's already a winner set. If there isn't a winner set, okay, so we're done with this this loop anyways. So we can return early. If let's... Can I do a break early? Let's try it. So if let sum, I don't really care what's inside, self.winner. Then I want to continue through the while loop. Otherwise, we're moving on. Like, continue doing this. So now, as soon as one of them win, the rest of them should continue following, but we should still get the winner displaying out for us. Celeste is not going to win this time. There we go. Okay, that won. And then if I want the text to have the color, so let's go ahead and do a really quick commit here too. If I want the text to have the color that I'm looking for, we have the color set up, don't we? So we just need to make sure that we have like a winner color too. So we have the winner option text like this. Can we set the color on a text? We have set font. I don't see anything about color inside of here. I think this is literally just the font, not like font with color and like italics and any of this stuff. Okay, so this is just the font. Scale is not going to help us, so we're going to need to set this elsewhere. Now we could have winner as an option of like a tuple with like a text and the color that we care about. Because we can get that color here and then insert it in. So we could get, so here's this winner text. So self.draw data get name. Okay, so if there is a name, then we also want to get the winning color. Can I do that here? I'm a little unsure. We should probably... We know it has a default, so, well, okay, it seems to be fine here. So let's just set this as the tuple then. Oh, right, okay, so hold on. This could be winner like that, and we're gonna then set the tuple like that. And then you are going to be the same thing. set you to be a tuple. I almost feel like I should make a winner a struct at this point in time. Oh, you need a comma. That's right. And then you're gonna get just a color out like that. Okay, so that's text and color there. And then here, we're gonna do self.draw data, get color, pass in the ID, and then we're happy there. And we pass you in here. Then down in draw. Okay, so if we have the winner, which we should just dereference this, we have the winner, then we have the color. We have, okay, so the winner. This is fine. And then down here in draw params, we have the destination. And we also have a dot color. It's this color. And you need to be dereferenced or cloned. Okay, let's try this. I think it's gonna be green. Oh, it was Celeste. Celeste won, and we get that nice purple font in here. And I think that should be easy for you all to see, right? I don't know like how long some of these are, so making it like bigger than this might not be the best idea. All right, so we can go ahead, set this up. We are, I mean, I think we're pretty much done with like the basic requirements for this. Let's see. I had one other idea that I might want to try doing, although that might be a future stream to do. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow. I kind of want to stress test this though. So I'm gonna open up you. Grab. I want to get like the big list. The big giant list. Okay, this has how many lines? A lot of lines. But we need to set, okay, it has no color, so everything's gonna be white. That's, I guess, fine. I think what I need to do is just copy you, and then we need to create like a new thing here. Hold on, let me. All right, so we could have name. I think we just have red, green, and blue like that. Put in all the names down until the end. I had a lot more. It's 1537. Huh. Well, it doesn't want to go past that. Interesting. Sure, add. Let's try it again. No? Oh, interesting. That's how much it can copy out. Well, that's apparently my list right now. So if I do this as my choice, there's some interesting characters in here, so that'll be interesting too. I don't really have the ability to set colors for a lot of these, so I'm just not gonna really like bother. We could easily run like another program through this to set randoms. But what I want to do is, okay, so we have this name red, green, and blue. Come to name red, green, and blue. Okay, so that's going to be fine. Let's download as a CSV. Okay, so that's in there. I'm gonna rename this to games.csv. Open you back up. Okay, so here's a nice, oh, wait. No, okay, I think this is right. Okay. Think you are correct. Let's go ahead and also for this, we want to turn on all the nails again. Turn on the nails, turn on the collectors. I also want to go into our config. Let's increase the number of nails. So let's go to like maybe 15 rows of nails and like 45 of these. That might be good. And let's go ahead and run it and see what it looks like. It did not like that. Cannot parse integer from empty string. So if I don't have that, it doesn't like it. Oh, okay. So if we come back to here, we have these like spreadsheets have random functions. You could generate the color in a sheet. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Keep on forgetting, like I can actually do programming in here. Equals a random number between 0 and 1. Between two values. So low, let's do 0 and 255. And then I want the exact same thing here. Then we're gonna go all the way down. Also, thank you, it's and hello. If I copied, instead of using the mouse to drag it down, would it copy the values or would it copy the function? It's too late, but I would have been interested to know. Okay, so let's do that. All right, so we have random values here. Going to re-download. Okay, so hey, you didn't do it. Oh. It would be helpful if I actually saved it. Delete you. Come on, rename. Games. Okay, there we are with our values. Let's come back to here and let's give it a shot. Oh, it is not happy with this. It's too many. I mean, so technically it's working, but it's far too many things for it to be dealing with here. We could try release mode. That's not release mode. I guess I can't do that after the dash dash. Let's do there. I was able to get like three to 5,000 in before on just debug mode. But I think the nails and like the colors and everything else. Well, no, we had colors and the other stuff. Okay, so this is definitely happy. So if I let these like settle a little bit, and then we just say, you know what, we're going. May the best game win. And then we go. We have our winner. Now that is really hard to read. I think I should probably create a square underneath it. I love seeing they're trying. We should create like a square underneath this, so we can see it regardless of the color that we chose. Meaning we need to determine if it's like a dark color or a light color. Yeah. But that worked out really nicely. I like that. Okay, so dark color versus light color. We need to determine if it is a dark color or a light color. So that could be in helper maybe. So is color then in the main, oh wait, we actually need to write the function. So we're gonna need to take in a color. Let's just take a reference because we need to take ownership of it. And then we're gonna return a Boolean for if it's a dark color. Okay, so how do we know if something is a dark color if everything is under, let's say, like 150 or 0.5, then it's a dark color. If it's above 0.5, then do I want to average them? I could average, like, let average of the colors equals, this can be color red. What other can I do? There's not really much here. So it's color.red plus color.green plus color.blue Then I want to divide that by 3. That gives us the average of this, and then I want just average is less than 0.5, then it's dark. Meaning in our main library, in draw here, if we have a winner, where's that? Here, okay, so if we have a winner, so we actually want to do this above here. Interesting. We wanted to do this above here, but I don't know if I want to actually draw it out afterwards, because everything else is going to draw above it, which we don't want at all. So we'll have 3 draws, unfortunately. Okay, so we have the color here. We'll have to create our mesh. So here's a color. We'll do that is dark equals is dark color. Pass it in a reference to the color. It's already a reference. So now we have this Boolean. Before we draw that, we have to create our mesh. Our sort of like the background mesh is gonna be, you know what I can do is I can do the same thing, like instead of just a rectangle around the text, although we can do that too, I could do a rectangle around everything, like just fade out the entire background. That could work for us. So if we're a dark color, then, so we're gonna use that in a little bit. So we need the background color is going to be equal to, okay, so if is dark color, then I want to do color. Let's actually create this in here. So background color, it's like winning background color light is going to be, so if it's light, then I want it to be dark. So that would be something like, maybe we can just do 0 zeros. Then we can have winning background color dark, and you can be just pure white in this case. Okay, so winning background color light, you're a color. We have dark. Okay, so you're that color. And back to here. Okay, so color. We can then just say self.config. So if it's a dark color, we're gonna do a winning background color light. Else self.config. Winning background color dark. Okay, so then we want the rectangle for this, and then we're going to draw it out. So we already have a background mesh. It's going to be a mesh builder. We're going to create a rectangle. We're going to fill. Bounds is going to be a new rect. We're going to start with 0, 0, and then we need the entire size of everything, which we don't have here. Oh, we have here. So let's just pull this out so it's available to everyone. Actually, no, we just have it right here. Okay. Width, height. Okay, so that gives us a rectangle. And then the color is going to be the background color. Then we build some of the context. So we do that. We give us our background mesh. Then before this draw, okay, just nice and simple like that. So if we run this again, I kind of feel I don't need that top bar to catch them. It just, as soon as we run it, they just start going. Okay, so that's good. You are considered a light color? If you're considered a light color, or did I get it backwards? Oh, I got it completely backwards. Light color should be 255s. So that should work. And then I kind of forgot, but we need to make sure that this color has an alpha set for it. So in this library, I believe we can just override the alpha here. We don't have a way to set the alpha otherwise, at least right now. But this one, I think we can just do a override a color. I don't think I can do this background color. Color light. Oh, we can make you mutable. So let's actually do that here. Winning background color alpha is going to be an F32, so we can do something like 0.2. Then in here, so our alpha is going to be set to self.config.alpha. then I think that will look a lot better. Let's try it again. There we go. I like this a lot more. Now we can see this, we can see the text a lot easier. We can still see the animation going behind it, which is pretty cool. So I like it. So I think that this is feature complete. There's some cleanup things that we can do for it. There's some other ideas that I would like to sort of experiment around with. I think I'd also like to try an infinite mode, and then maybe something where, and then maybe like some other little apps to sort of collect the ideas. Maybe even one from chat, which could be fun and interesting. Those would actually be like kind of like mini projects that are separate. Those would be like collecting the JSON, collecting the CSV files. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and end the YouTube video here. So thank you so much for watching. I think we still have a little bit more to go with this. So I'll see you in the next video.